Ever brewed coffee that tastes like burnt eyeliner and disappointment? Me too. Let's show you how to fix that goth style. So stick around and I'm going to show you 5 goth approved fixes for bitter coffee, plus the biggest mistakes that everyone makes. I've seen how roasting and coffee has changed through the years. I started out at the 90s working as a barista at Pete's Coffee, and I have continued to love coffee through all of its amazing changes into specialty coffee and lighter roasts, which are definitely more popular these days. So I've seen it all. Stale beans. Stale beans are like that goth band that you liked in high school. The one that felt like life-changing at the time, but now it just kind of falls flat. No soul, no spark, just dust. That's why you don't want to leave your beans open and exposed to air. You're not really gonna enjoy coffee that's been sitting around for maybe like 6 months, open-aired, dried up, stale. You want to keep it in an airtight container, out of the sun. That's the best way to keep your coffee safe. For me, that stale band, I'd have to say would be London After Midnight. And although they've had a resurgence as time has passed, I remember in the 90s hearing them and thinking they were the gothest thing I had ever heard and ever seen. I was like, 15, 16. I thought I was on to something. But this was sort of in the beginning of me getting into goth, and that was how I started discovering older bands. And then as I kind of got into the whole culture of things, I was like, they were more like a stage show of goth, more than the real thing itself. At least at the time it seemed that way to me. Still fun, but not like the real thing. But here's the thing with freshness with coffee. You don't actually want to brew beans that were like roasted yesterday. Coffee actually needs time after its roasting period to really like have the oils settle down and everything to kind of like, it needs time to degas and settle a little bit before it's good to go. So I always say maybe a week or 2 after roasting is the best time for beans. Working in the coffee shop, I would always tell people that, but I swear everybody would come in and look at the dates at the bottom of the coffee and pick the freshest bean. And I'm thinking, that's not helping you, but nobody listens. I've never claimed to know everything either, but trust me on this one. Ever drink a dark roast coffee and wonder if it's all smoke and no soul? In goth terms, I think of this as a hot topic phase of coffee. Most of us were introduced to coffee through dark roasts. For a long time, that was just the default. And only recent years have people been paying more attention to the nuances of a light roasted coffee. So our palates, especially if we grew up in the 90s, our palates got trained to really enjoy like a more bitter, strong, smoky kind of flavor profile. And that's why a lot of people still drink French roast, which is like the burnt of the coffee because it's strong. But in actuality, it actually has less caffeine than lighter roast coffee. So it's very interesting to me when people think that they're gonna put hair on their chest by drinking that French roast. Oh, it's gonna wake me up. No, it just tastes like shit. And you are proud of that, at least in my opinion. It's kind of like at that point, you're just drinking charcoal, not coffee. And that's where it ties back into the goth. It's like when you first discovered goth. It was everything black on black, skulls, no subtlety, just charred eyeliner and too much black lipstick. That's kind of how over-roasted beans are. Something a little more balanced, a little bright and dark, kind of like a baseline by The Cure. Water that is too hot when you brew. Using water that's too hot when you brew is like showing up at a goth club that you were super hyped about, only to find out that nobody showed up and it's at some little office space that they rented. They've already run out of ice at the bar, and you're standing there in all your grandeur. Wrong vibe, way too harsh, and you're just regretting your life choices at this point. Oh, have I been to those clubs? It's usually no one will go with me, and I'm like, it's gonna be good. And then you show up and you're just by yourself, and you don't know anyone there, all 4 people there. Let the water cool for 30 seconds before you pour it onto your beans. You want flavor, not disappointment. The wrong coffee to water ratio. Brewing the wrong ratio of coffee to water is like showing up to a goth club in the wrong outfit. Certain nights sometimes call for certain styles, Like back in the day, I don't know if I would roll into a club in San Jose in the same outfit I might go to like Bar Sinister on the weekend in San Francisco. I mean, I could, but sometimes extra is just too extra. And on the flip side, there's nothing worse than showing up underdressed to a super dressy night. A night that just called for drama. Coffee's the same, it's all about balance. Not too much, not too little. I always go for my pour overs at a 1:16 ratio, which means 1 part coffee for every 16 parts of water. For example, if you use 20 grams of coffee, you would want to multiply that by 16, and then that's going to be your ounces of water that you're going to need for that. And lastly, wrong grind size. Like if you grind your coffee too fine, the coffee's going to over extract. It's like trying to be someone you're not. Think of it like forcing yourself into a gloomy sort of personality just to impress somebody who is like one of those dark souls and really vibes on that. But in truth, you're actually a super perky goth. The vibe ends up clashing and it all turns out really bitter. But when you're true to yourself and your grind matches your brew method, everything clicks. That's when the real magic happens and all the rich notes of your coffee come through. It's just like when you find someone who gets your authentic self. So remember to match your grind to your brew. French press, go coarse. Pour over, medium fine. You could always look up on the internet and they actually will give you good photos of what exactly your grind should look like, and you could do a little comparison back and forth depending on how you brew. Fixing bitter coffee is like maturing in the goth scene. You stop overcompensating and now you let the complexity come through. So I hope I gave you some insight onto how to brew your coffee like a true goth, and I hope you'll enjoy some of my other videos where we go over other things of the same genre. Tell me how you brew your coffee, and if you want to see more coffee style videos. And feel free to support our art. We are artists here at Bones and Black. We make t-shirts and other things. So check out our stuff and subscribe for more. And I'll see you on the dance floor or at your local cafe.